Hi everyone, Dan Jerseth here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the number one mistake that I see new and experienced agents make. And it's not going to be rocket science. The thing is that people focus on too many things at the same time and they never get good at one thing. I am probably the first person on this earth that has that problem. I have massive ADD. I like to get my hands into every single thing that looks interesting. And if that's you, you can relate to that. One of those people that tries to take on way too many things. At one point in time, I was running 3 different businesses, and none of my businesses were actually operating correctly. They were all stressful as hell, and I hated my life, and it wasn't even fun. So my cure to that was just add more work onto my plate, and it really didn't work out. So when I first got into real estate, my tactic, I didn't really have any guidance. I didn't really have any ways of kind of reining what I need to do on a daily basis. And the best thing about being self-employed is that you're self-employed. You can kind of do whatever you want to. That's also the reason why it's one of the hardest things to do, is because there is not really much guidance. There isn't necessarily a set schedule when you need to come to work. There's not a set schedule for what tasks you need to get done throughout the day. And that's why 95% of agents are out of the business within a 5-year period. It's because we have no idea what to even do to be successful in the real estate business. So when I first got into the business, my idea was just like, take mass action. I mean, whatever it is, take massive amount of action. So what I did, I went onto YouTube and I watched hours, like literally hours and hours and hours and hours of YouTube videos on how to grow a real estate business. And it was super confusing. I watched Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, all these different sales techniques and this business building stuff. And it was really kind of confusing to me because it seemed like I had to do a lot of stuff. And I was so overwhelmed to the point where I didn't really even do anything, just simply because there was so much stuff that I thought I had to do that it was overwhelming to the point where I didn't even take action on any of those things. And if I did take action, for example, like Facebook ads. Okay, cool. So if I'm going to run a Facebook ad to get business, there also has to be a follow-up process, or else you just, like, if you spend $100 to get all these leads in your bucket and you get 150 leads in your bucket, now you got to call all these people. So then I had to turn off my Facebook lead generation because I have 150 people in my lead bucket here. So I'd call every single one of those people. Some of those people get back to me. Some of those people wouldn't. Some people said they're interested in buying like 6 months down the road. And then I had no way of actually recording who said they wanted to buy a house down the road, except for the fact I put a little note in my spreadsheet. And it was just chaotic because I'd be doing that. Not only if I would have been focusing on just that, I would have been able to do it. But I was also focusing on like door knocking. So I was door knocking, and then following up with my Facebook leads, and then I had contacts over here, contacts over there. I didn't have a way to organize anything, and it was really chaotic. On top of that, I was trying to figure out how to do like YouTube, Facebook, door knocking, work my sphere of influence, and social media, and all these different things going every single direction. And on top of that, also trying to learn the real estate business and how to work contracts. So my first year in business, I really got jumped headfirst in. I sold my old company. I jumped headfirst into real estate and just really flopped right on my face the first year. I had to really work side jobs on the weekends and really focus a lot of my time and energy on how to just to pay my bills, essentially. And I was late. I was being late on my bills too, on top of that. So it was really chaotic. And so I started looking for some sort of direction. And I did read a couple books that were helpful. I actually seen if I have my books in my bookshelf, but they're all gone right now. I lent them out. And my book I read was The One Thing. And The One Thing book really talks about what's the one thing that can expedite your business to the point where you want to down the road? Or what's the one thing by doing so makes everything else easier or unnecessary? And that's kind of an interesting question that I'm not going to dive super deep into, because that's a whole nother time for conversation. My moral of the story on this is, whether you're a new agent or you're an agent who's been 2 years in the business, or you're an experienced agent who's been in the business for 10, 15, 20, a million years, you probably get overwhelmed because you have a lot of stuff to do on a daily basis. You probably get overwhelmed because you show up to work in the morning and you're not really necessarily sure what specific thing is your priority. And that's a big thing that really helped me go from making around $20,000 a year in real estate, which was not sustainable. Like I was not living the life I wanted to live at that time, making $20,000 a year. And it got me from going into my second year, really gave me a game plan to say, okay, what is my one thing I need to do on a daily basis so that if I just get that one thing, I can mess up every other thing in my entire day. But if I get that one thing done, that gets me 1% better. And so the whole 1% better concept, I love it because it really breaks down. People think that real estate or business or relationships are some sort of rocket science and we just have to work harder to get to where we want to. Not every single thing you do on your daily basis is created equal. For example, putting a sign in the front yard. Is that a necessary part of the process? Yes, it is. However, it doesn't necessarily push your business forward. It's necessary, but it doesn't push your business forward. And so that's a hard concept, and a concept that if you want to grow your business, you really need to think about and understand, why is me putting a sign in the front yard, a for sale sign in somebody's yard, necessary? However, it doesn't help me grow. Because somebody might argue and say, well, I need to have the sign there and the sign brings me leads. Yes, but in what way did it help you grow other than the fact that you placed a sign there? An example of something that does help you grow is building more relationships with your sphere of influence, or building more people in your sphere of influence, adding more people to your sphere of influence, really building relationships with people, because that's much more scalable. And you can hire somebody to put a sign in the front yard of somebody else's house, a for sale sign, but you can't really hire somebody to build a relationship. And so when I had this aha moment of, holy smokes, you're right, there's a lot of things that I'm doing on a daily basis that don't really necessarily equate to me growing my business exponentially or even growing the business at all. I changed what I did on a daily basis, and I have a one thing that I need to do every single day. And by doing that one thing, I slowly crept up my business and my income and how many people worked with us, because I was simply building relationships. So my one thing every single day I come to work is build more relationships. And I have, I do have a way to measure how many relationships I'm building. That sounds crazy, but I do. I need to talk to this many people each day, because that's what my one thing has been for the past since 2019. So it's 2022 right now. So I've been doing that for 3 years. Every single day I come to the office, Monday through Friday, I treat it like a job. My job is to build more relationships. If you did that one thing every single day purposefully and had a reason to build relationships with those people, your business, I guarantee, will grow more this coming year than this year, even in a down market. So if you just focus your time on that one thing, you will build your time, or you will build your business. So, and I'm not saying you're going to triple or quadruple or 10x your business. However, for 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road of doing that one thing and getting 1% better every single day is a massive amount of gain. And it's exponential growth. So building 5 more relationships today gets you 1% better. A 1% better. So if you're at 100 today, you're at 101 by the end of the day by doing your one thing. You don't really tell the difference. Like you really can't tell that you got 1% better. But that 1% stacked on each day, it's almost boring, to the point of, this is what success is. It's boring. You're repetitive, you're consistent, but consistency will always beat intensity. And I'll just say that again. Consistency, doing the right thing, will always beat somebody else who is intense for 1 week or 2 weeks or a month or even a year. If you're consistent, but you're small amount of consistent for 5 years doing the right thing, you'll beat somebody who is very extreme for a week. And I have examples about that. Health is a very relatable thing for everybody, regardless of whether you're in business or not in business. But health is one of those things. By being healthy consistently, it equates to a lifelong health journey versus, I use my dad for example. He wants to be healthy, but he's not consistent with it, unfortunately. And what he'll do is he'll pretty much like for 3 days straight, he'll just eat lettuce, and he'll call me or text me. He's like, you won't believe I've been so healthy the past 3 days. I've ate nothing but lettuce. And I shit you not, I had this conversation with him on Sunday when I went over to 4-wheel with him, and it was like 3:00 in the afternoon, right? I just headed over there, over to Hatfield, Wisconsin, over by Black River Falls to rip up some 4-wheelers. And he's like, I haven't eaten all day. I'm feeling really healthy. Like, I think I've lost some weight. And I was like, Dad, I think that's not necessarily healthy. I've gotten to the point where I don't even argue with him anymore. I just kind of say, oh, cool, sounds good, let's go. Because that's happened about 10,000 times. But his thought of health is, I'm going to eat carrots and lettuce for 3 days straight, or I'm just not going to eat at all, and then I'll eat one meal at the end of the day. That's not what health is. And also in real estate, the exact same thing. You going onto Zillow and paying $1,000 or $500 a month for Zillow leads 1 month and getting all these leads in this bucket is not sustainable. It's just not. Unless you have a process, a system, and a whole thing for it. A much more consistent business, because in real estate, your business ebbs and flows. So if you have that overhead cost of your business, but you don't have the systems and tools and follow-up plan and the habits of actually working these leads on a daily basis is in a CRM system, you're not going to have a high ROI. My highest ROI is going to be building relationships with people. Those relationships don't cost anything over time. I don't have to pay for my past clients or a relationship that I just built with somebody at an event for them to send me business. It just happens. Like, I got their text message, they got their phone number, I follow up with them once in a while, I invite them to coffee, we have business conversations or just personal life conversations, and they'll naturally just send me business, which I'd rather work with somebody that already knows, likes, and trusts me rather than somebody who I literally paid for a lead online. So, ironically, my coach texted me when I was setting up my camera here on my ring light, and he texted me a quote, and it said, "Be selectively ignorant. Ignore topics that drain your attention. Unfollow people that drain your energy. And drain projects that drain your time." The more selectively ignorant you become, the more knowledgeable you become. So I'm going to end with this question for everybody here. What is one thing that you should ignore right now? What's something you should clean off your slate, out of your calendar, never to do again? And what's one priority that should get more energy and attention in your time? And I want you to take that one thing that you're putting energy into. It might be a person, it might be something in your calendar, it might be your job, it might be your brokerage, it might be a human being in your life, or a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. And what is it that's draining your energy? Eliminate it out of your life. Or what's a task in your business? Since we're all real estate agents, I'm assuming, watching this video. What's a task in your real estate business that you are doing on a daily basis that doesn't build your business? Find somebody else to do it. So leverage it out to somebody else if possible. And replace that time with something that's actually going to help you grow your business. Maybe it's sitting down and having a conversation with a mentor of yours and just trying to figure out specifically what that one thing is for you. For me in real estate, it's building relationships. So that's my one thing. So if you guys want to use that and run with it, awesome. That's my priority. I've eliminated a lot of stuff off of my plate that is not my priority anymore. And we're 3-4 years into the business, and we're growing quickly because everybody on the team is aligned with that one thing is for us building relationships with other people, not putting signs in the front yard, not working, we're not taking the time to do iPhone photos of a house. We hire a professional for that. We want everybody coming to the office, focus on their one thing so they can grow their business the most efficiently. So hopefully this video helps you. The whole concept helped me. I wish I would have known about it for like 12 months earlier when I got into the real estate business. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Peace out.